All right, so a question was asked with me on my Q&A part 2, and I just didn't want to answer it in there because it would have been too long of a thing, as you will notice in this video. The question that was asked, which are more important houses, the Dharma houses or the Kama houses? Okay, and so this video is about that. First of all, what are Dharma houses, what are Kama houses, and which one hold more importance? Well, the Dharma houses are known as the house first, the ascendant, fifth house and ninth house. Why? Because according to the ancient text and the ancient time, ascendant represents itself, the body, the soul, okay, your material self into the world. And so the reason why it was known as the Dharma house is because your soul is here to do good. You should take care of your body. You should eat healthy food. You should drink only healthy things. And you should do something constructive with your body, okay, instead of doing evil deeds. So it's the number one Dharma house, because it's you who's going to be taking God's action. Then the fifth house became the Dharma house, is because it's a house of education. It's a house of knowledge. It's a house of learning ancient text. So back then, this was a very important house, because you were supposed to go to Gurukul. You were supposed to have this rishi who was teaching you all these things, and so you would become a knowledgeable person who was respected like the president of a country, you know. But that was known as the second dharma. Your dharma is to learn, to educate yourself, and then through that, take care of your children. Okay, these are your dharma. The ninth house became another important dharma, is because it was the house of your gurus. It was a house where you went to your gurus for a higher spiritual knowledge, who taught you everything about spirituality, who told you who God is. So ninth house represents the house of God. Okay, the house where your religious deeds take place, house of pilgrimage, your religious pilgrimage. It's also the house of your luck, meaning that the more you believe in God, the better your luck is going to be in this life. Okay, so back 4, 5, 7,000 years ago, when these things were invented or given by a higher kind of a species or being, these were the most prominent things in life. You were supposed to do the right thing in life and not go after material things. Okay, because your soul is not your ego. Your soul has a different plan than what you want. But then comes the Kama houses, the third house, seventh house, and the 11th house, the downwards triangle in a birth chart. So let's discuss that, what those houses are. So why do these houses, what kind of an impact do they have on you? Well, third house is one of the first Kama houses, and it represents your desires to do something, your hobbies, what you like to do. This is why it's known as the house of desire. What is it that you want to do? Your hobbies, like, oh, I like to paint, I like to do crafty things, or I like to act, is seen from this house. This is why I said to find a career, look at your third house too, besides the 10th house, because third house shows your courage. Where are you putting your efforts in? Okay, so that's why it becomes important. Then the 7th house. 7th house is a house of your spouse. What you desire. Everyone desires a spouse. Like your desires to get a beautiful husband or a beautiful wife. You dream of your spouse doing this and that. So it becomes a house of material gains. Because back in the days, wife was known as a material gain. And whatever your desire is, it's a material gain. Okay? Then the 11th house is a house of your main hopes and wishes. 11th house represents gains of money, material wealth, gains of friends, gains of material wealth through friends, that your hopes and wishes is to become the superstar and a biggest actor. It represented from the 11th house. This is why these were known as neutral houses, that hey, it's okay to have desires, but always follow your main dharma. Otherwise, you will not fulfill your soul's destiny. Okay, and this was 5,000, 6,000 years ago. But guess what? Now, the Kama houses kind of have taken over, right? Like, imagine this: if I take an iPad with me and a Bible out on the street, and ask somebody, okay, sir, choose one, Bible or the iPad. He's not even going to think twice. He's going to take the iPad. Why? Because he says, I can get a Bible anywhere. It's free. But iPad is $500. I'll take that. So you see how the material world now takes the grasp of this new era of mankind. You take an exercise machine or a beautiful girl in front of a guy. Who do you think was going to take? Of course, the beautiful girl. Exercise, he doesn't need to worry about his body. He can run, work out, do whatever he wants. So the first house things is not that important to him. And then if you take him, say, hey, I'm going to take you to a very spiritual guru. You're going to love him, okay? But I can take you to a concert. I can take you to a concert where your favorite musician is coming. Who do you think someone's going to pick now? They're going to pick that concert of Lady Gaga, the 11th house desires. And so the reason why in this era now that the Karma houses has become more important is because everything is material wishes and hopes. Everything is a material gain now, a material philosophy that we are living in. You know, like this watch, like a television, your plasma screen, your car, everything is now a Karma house representation. They're no longer the Dharma house representation. You know, so what is important? Dharma houses or Karma houses? Well, they're both important. But obviously Karma houses have gained more importance nowadays. But if you want to be a doctor, if you want to be an engineer, you're going to have to go on the path of Dharma houses. Because without education, without having the right teachers in your life, without having the right knowledge in your life, you cannot help the world. So there are certain professions that help the world through Dharma, Dharma Karya, meaning Dharma work. Then there are professions and things in the world that help people through their desires and Kama, meaning like film industry, acting, being in front of the camera, musician, artist. These are all desirable things, but you can live without them. But you always, a person can go insane without having lack of knowledge, lack of teachers in life, and lack of God's, presence in one's life. They become criminals because they run after the desires. Like for drug dealers, it's nothing but profit. The profit becomes their God. So it can drive you nuts. But if you keep a balance, it's always a good thing. But always pay attention to your Karma houses, because they are the one that shows what you want to really do, that you're passionate about. Like follow your passion, it's Karma houses. But what your soul should be following is Dharma houses, but they kind of no longer hold that importance anymore. All right? So guys, this was my explanation on Dharma and Karma houses. Hopefully you understood it. If you're new to my channel, subscribe above. And if you want to know more about astrology, check out my link below. Check out my book there, Astrology at the Speed of Light. You will like it. Otherwise, I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.